AI companies that are putting a lot of money towards CapEx is starting to feel the impact because the investors are really, the stock market investors are really starting to hammer those stocks in a negative way, right? So we've had companies that have invested billions of dollars, right? You know, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, some of the big players around the world have invested a ton of money. Meta have invested a ton of money to, you know, build out their AI infrastructure, and it's taken at least a year or so to build out some of these AI models, right? So the companies used to be able to benefit from some of these capex um, investments, but now it's actually turning the opposite direction, right? So let's take a look at what's happening right now with these big tech companies, some of the biggest companies in the world, that is being impacted negatively by how much money they're spending on artificial intelligence.
When it raised its capital spending. But as those numbers keep going up and the companies issue more debt to pay for some of that, some investors are getting a little bit jumpy. And that might give the company widely seen as an AI laggard a bit of an edge. We've got both of those angles as part of today's Tech Check. Seema Modi tracking just where those concerns are showing up in the credit markets. Mackenzie Sigalos looking at how Apple's sort of anti-CapEx bet is gaining momentum. Seema, we're going to start with you. Talk to us about the debt side.
Well, what's clear, Brian, is investors are getting increasingly uncomfortable with the amount of capital needed to make their AI dreams become a reality. And it's playing out real time in the bond market, where the biggest names involved in the artificial intelligence build out, think about Google, Amazon, Meta, they're seeing their credit spreads widen. So in other words, fixed income investors are demanding more reward to lend to these companies that have all raised their AI spending targets in the last few months and are on track to collectively spend more on CapEx than they generate in free cash flow by next year. Mizuho writing this morning that investors are starting to ask where the limit is. And just today, the FT reporting that bond investors are requiring a 7.5% rate to finance Meta's 1 gigawatt data center in Texas. Brian, that's higher than previous projects. And just to gauge how concerned bond investors are getting about CapEx, you got to watch Oracle's 5-year credit default swap. Barclays writing that it's no longer just trading on company fundamentals, but sort of seen as a liquid hedge on concerns tied to CapEx spending and, yes, its reliance on OpenAI.
And we've got that chart up right alongside you, Seema. I don't know if you have a monitor there,
Yep,
but we know the credit default swaps, which we talked a lot about in 2007, 2008, and 2009. When they go up, that tends to be a bad thing, right? Up is not good when it comes to it's good when it comes to stocks, but CDS is going up means risk is rising.
Yes, exactly. The cost to insure against the prospect of a default rises, and that's exactly what is being telegraphed in this chart. You know, what's so interesting, Brian, is when the AI investment cycle kicked off, hyperscaler bonds and as well as Oracle were seen as an attractive bet for fixed income investors. For most of these companies, they're investment grade. Take a look at Microsoft, better rating than the US government. But now, as you point out, the CapEx targets continue to get raised. Wall Street has questions about just how much more they can tolerate and how that's going to impact their balance sheet. I'm very interested 12 months from now, Brian, what these balance sheets look like and how much debt they take on.
So it's important to understand the dynamics that's happening because you are investing in some of these big companies. Most people understand that Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Apple, obviously, some of these amazing companies are really good investments, right? Long-term investments, buy and hold. You don't have to worry about them. For the most part, they're going to do pretty well. And they have done pretty well for the last decade or so, right? But what's happening now is a lot of these companies are basically paying for this capex investment, and then some companies like Oracle, which they showed is using debt, using loans to pay for their capex expenditures. But that is now creating a big problem on Wall Street and creating a big issue with investors, where investors don't like to see hiding heights level of investments into AI because they don't understand the profits and the back end revenue that's going to come from that investment, right? So if you put out money towards something, you want to see a return on your investment. And right now, the market as a whole is not liking the fact that some of these companies are putting billions and hundreds of billions of dollars into AI projects to build out infrastructure and future AI, benefits, but they're not seeing the possible returns. They're not currently seeing how the companies are benefiting from that AI capex spend, right? So when you are seeing an earnings report, and next week we're going to get into next week's earnings because this is plays right into next week, right? And some of these companies that are having earnings next week, we may see the stock, even though the company has done really well on their earnings report, they beat on the estimate, they beat on the EPS, they beat on the forecast in the future. They're forecasting profits, but their capex spend investment is going to be raised, which then what we seen this week with Google is Google stock actually went down, right? Because of their capex raise and their investment, and how their cash flow is starting to be impacted due to these AI investments, right? So when you start seeing your companies stocks start to come down, you have to understand why, right? And then you can plan and make a strategic, move to where you can wait for an earnings report to come to see that stock, get impacted negatively, so that you can then get in at a discount, right? So, for example, Google right now is my number one company over the next 10 years. The stock has gotten hit. It has come down in the low threes. I'm really waiting for it to get to that 300 level, even in high twos, and I will be buying more shares of Google. So utilizing the market, utilizing some of these reactions, utilizing how the market is hitting some of these stocks could be a huge, opportunity for you if you are patient and strategic about your investments.
Yeah, usually when charts go up, we're like, oh, it's a good thing, but not CDSs. Like if your car insurance or home insurance rates go up, not a good thing. It means your perceived risk is higher. CDS the same way. Seema, glad you're on the story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's turn now to part two. Mackenzie Sagalos with how Apple's approach to AI spending might actually give it a leg up, because I guess in this case, if the chart goes down, less spending, some people are happy.
Exactly. So you've got Apple heading into earnings with its anti-CapEx AI strategy really gaining fresh validation as these Chinese open source models show that companies don't need frontier level models to win in generative AI. Now, after years of taking heat for moving too slowly with its AI strategy, Apple's virtually non-existent infrastructure spending is now working in its favor. Alphabet beat nearly every measure of the return on its AI spending and still had its worst day in 3 years, dragging the broader hyperscaler group lower on Thursday as investors focused on how much more cash the build-out will consume. The group is now on pace to spend $800 billion on infrastructure this year, another $1.2 trillion next year. But Apple, it's tracking toward $14 billion in capex for all of 2026. And has returned more than $1 trillion to shareholders since its capital return program began. That makes Apple the clearest alternative among mega cap tech to the AI infrastructure trade. Its capex was below $2 billion last quarter. That is 4% of what Alphabet spent in Q2. And it's used this playbook before. Apple outsourced search to Google, collected billions for the distribution, and then avoided the cost of building a rival search engine. And now it's doing the exact same thing in AI, relying on Alphabet for the models and heavier cloud workloads, then distributing that tech across more than 2.5 billion devices and monetizing it through hardware and services. And that capital light model, a big reason the shares are up more than 30% since March, Brian.
Okay, and I want to start with Stephanie.
Remember what Apple actually has been getting criticized for not putting money towards their AI, right? Apple has been getting hammered over the last couple years and being criticized at a market level because their Siri, I mean their capex, they have not put much of any capex investment into their models and their phones and their computers, etc. But now, because so many people have spent so much money, they're starting to now benefit because their cash flow and their balance sheet, the fundamentals of the company is still intact. They don't have a lot of debt. They don't have a lot of issues when it comes to their financial situation, which then helps the market sentiment move in their favor, right? So now Apple has hit an all-time high in this previous week, and some of the other tech companies, as their stocks are going down, Apple stock has been going up, right? So depending on what side of this you're on, it's still a great investment to invest in Apple, even though Apple has not invested a ton of money into artificial intelligence. What they're going to start doing is getting partnerships and being able to partner with some of these companies to bring the AI into the ecosystem of the Apple ecosystem, right? So it is a different strategy. It could work out really well for Apple due to the fact that they're not spending a lot of money. They just are going to do deals and partnerships. But also can work out for some of these other companies that have invested billions of dollars, like Meta, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, because then in the future you'll start to see the companies really be more efficient, and profit margins will go up due to the fact that AI and technology is helping their business, right? So there are two different sides of the conversation, but what's most important is understanding what's happening so that you as an investor can make strategic decisions that can benefit you and your portfolio long term.